Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Florida Paintings. Um, Today what I'm going to do, we're going to do a Florida landscape. I'm going to throw in an egret in flight. It's going to be like an evening photo. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm working today with Golden Open Acrylics, as you can see. Now, what's nice about Golden Open, they stay wet on your palette a lot longer. And I've had 3 shots at I've tried it 3 times with Golden. I've done 3 different paintings, and I like the results. The only thing is, I've learned that you kind of have to let it dry between layers, because otherwise the bottom layers will lift. So today it's a warm outside, so I'm gonna give it another try and see how fast the paint dries on the canvas and if it will lift again. We're just going to experiment, so you're going to experiment with me today. So again, I'm using Golden Open, except I'm using maybe a couple colors that are from Winsor & Newton. So on my palette today I have Cad Yellow Medium, Alizarin Crimson, Ultramarine Blue, Burnt Sienna, and White. Now, I may add other colors to this. I'm not sure yet. If anything, if I'm going to add anything, really, it's more likely going to be either Cerulean Blue or Burnt Umber. Not quite sure yet. So what I'm going to start with are my darks. Start laying in my darks and go from there. So here we go. So in order to do my darks, I'm gonna use Ultramarine Blue, Alizarin Crimson, a little bit of Burnt Sienna, maybe more Alizarin Crimson. Now the trick that I found with Golden Open Acrylics that might help you is that you don't want to add too much water initially, and when you're laying out your darks, because it will thin out too much and it will not adhere really good to the canvas. Just a little tip for you. Add a little bit more Ultramarine Blue. Now, the good thing I have to say about Golden Open is that if you're an artist that paints mainly in oils, this will be a good transition for you. I mean, I have to hand it to Golden for this. The paint goes on just like oils, pretty much, and I like that. I probably should have used some burnt umber with this. You know what, staying in the line of gold, I'm going to use some burnt umber. As you can see already, the darks that I get with just the 3 colors that I have on my palette. Okay, this is by using Alizarin Crimson, Ultramarine Blue, and I use Burnt Sienna. It gives you a pretty good dark color. But if I use Burnt Umber and Ultramarine Blue together, it makes it even nice and darker. As you can see right here, the difference, it's even a lot darker than what's up here. So I'm probably going to stick to that formula. I'm using number 6 flat. It's a Pro White by Jerry's Artorama, and I could feel the paint tacking a little bit, and the reason is the addition of the burnt umber to the mix that I use, because I use just a traditional golden burnt umber, so this will dry a lot quicker than all these paints here. So just keep in mind, if the paints don't dry fast enough for you, you need a layer to dry fast, you could add some of golden or any other paint really in conjunction with your Golden Open, and it will help speed up the drying process. More palm trees here. I'm not really concerned, I just want to get an overall shape of the palm tree. And eventually, you know, we're going to be like sculptors. We're going to sculpt in we'll sculpt in the palm fronds as needed. We'll put in sky holes where it needs be. So here, as you can see, I already have my general shape of how I want the palm tree to look. So I'm using the edge of my brush. I don't know if you can see the edge of my brush to paint. So if you want even like this, as you can, there you go. And I can eventually change this if it's not to my liking. Now switching over to a number 8. This is by a silver by Bristlon. It's a number 8. This is a bright. Now I found that the brights work better with heavy body acrylics than your regular flats. Notice the length of the hair. Well, probably this one doesn't show that much, but on my larger flats, the bristles are a little bit longer. And what's nice about being shorter is that it's able to push the paint a lot easier around on the canvas. And what I like about these, it's very tight. It's very nice. It goes on really good with this brush. It's become my new favorite. All right, so let me try this manganese blue and see what happens. Now, with the manganese blue, it gave me too much of a green, so I added a little bit of ultramarine blue to that mix. So let's see how this is going to work out. All right, let's see if I can get the green that I want. I think I'm going to stick to the ultramarine blue and cad yellow. Yeah. So basically it's going to be the rough stage of the painting. Kind of like this green. Right now I'm using manganese blue and cad yellow. And you know what? I'm gonna try and use Hansa yellow light. See how that works out. Still using very little water in the process. I'm just adding sky holes. because you don't want to have just sharp edges. It's already pretty much dry. Wow. Except this part, of course. It's nice to try out different color combos. So, alright, let's dig in. Let me put some more ultramarine blue on my palette. So here I am going back over what I did. So now we're basically going to sculpt this sky. The colors that I'm using is manganese blue, ultramarine blue, and cad yellow light. So I am shaping this sky the way I want it, and you'll see what I mean by shaping in a second. So, you can see the difference, right? So basically I use the first coat as a roadmap to what's going to come next. There. Yeah, I like the general shape of the cloud that I just did. I'm going to use a smaller flat. This is a number 4. To work, I'm probably going to go like lighter green on top right here. Give it a lot lighter green. Actually, add a little bit more yellow to it. All right. What is this guy doing? Now if your paint's tacking up on you too quickly, go ahead and add the water. It's necessary, you know. I'm just scumbling. Scumbling is just paint on a dry brush, and you just, you know, push the colors around. Now what I'm doing here is varying the colors of blues that I'm using. I will shift between ultramarine blue and manganese blue to get the colors that I want. Right now I'm using ultramarine, and I'm okay if some of the bottom layers show through.
Hello, Daddy.
I'm quite content with that.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, honey.
We're going to the pool.
Oh, okay. Daddy
They
might.
have a water slide.
Yeah. Daddy might join you right
and
after.
Benjamin.
Okay. Okay. So in keeping with that blue, I'm going to start working with the ultramarine blue on this area, and then go lighter, just to indicate the cloud system. So here. So we're doing. I'll come over here. Cad yellow medium. A little bit of ultramarine blue. Maybe a little bit burnt sienna, some white, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more blue. And the reason why I put the burnt sienna, actually I'm going to make that, actually add a little bit of alizarin crimson to this mix. I'm adding like a glaze here, and you'll see why. Find myself a nice chisel brush here, dropping down to a number 3 to make some of the sky colors in here. Now time to add the background to darken this up a little bit more. Ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, burnt sienna. Keeping with my darks, just go over what I did. Alright. Although with acrylics you do work in layers, but still. Now you see the effect that I'm losing some of my sky holes, but I could always add them in afterwards. I'm going to definitely have to put a second coat on this. Okay, I have to let that dry a little bit. Now for the sky holes. Gotta try and match that. I'm using manganese blue and a lot of yellow. Try a little bit darker. Wherever you needed the color, keep going with it. Let me go back to working this little hot mess over here. Ultramarine blue, a little bit of burnt sienna, white, so ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and cad yellow, light. Let's see, probably go a little bit more bluish and white, trying to go a little bit more blue. Yeah, that's better. Now what we're going to do is add some branches here. Give that tree Give that tree line a little bit of interest. Kind of like a mangrove system, you know? So now that we had let this dry a little bit more, I'm gonna try and shoot for more highlights on the clouds and eventually start working on the palm trees here. So yeah, it's pretty much dry now. More yellow. So it's pretty much manganese blue, cad yellow light together, so it makes it a green. And I'm just using a lot of white. Now I'm going to work on the highlight again here. Right, a little bit more yellow. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or critique, and I'll get back to you and answer them as prompt as I can. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and hopefully there'll be more to come. You all have a good day.